Hi, everyone. In this video, I want to talk about use relationship. If we go through the official Microsoft documentation, what it tells us is that it specifies the relationship to be used in a calculation as the one that exists between column name 1 and column name 2. What that basically means is that if there are active and inactive relationships, we're able to choose the one that we would like to relate. The link to the article is also there next to the video in case you want to go through it. So the data set we have is very simple. We have a data set with about 9,000 records in it. I have the order date, the shipping date, the region, and the sales value. Let us go to Power BI and upload the Excel file. We'll select the sheet and load it. Okay, now in the modeling view, right now there is only one table, which is the transactional table that we have. I also want to rename it. I'm not sure if I can do that here. Okay, here we go. So let's call it our fact sales. And in the data view, we want to create a date table. Now we don't want to do anything fancy right now. So I'm just going to click on new table and we can select date table is equal to calendar auto. Of course, if you want to create a date table with some additional columns in it, then you can always do that. But for the purpose of this example, we'll just create a auto date table. Now we have to connect it. Now this is where it gets interesting. I will connect date with order date. When I hover the mouse, you can see that the two of them are connected. But I will also connect my date with the shipping date. Now what that does is it does create a relationship, but the line is dotted. That means that this is an inactive relationship. So when I double click on it, you notice that it is inactive. If you want to turn it active, then you have to first make the other one inactive and then turn this one active. Okay, now we go back to the report view. Now, the reason we are creating two relationships is because I need to do a calculation on both the order date and the shipping date. So what we would like to do here is to find the sum of sales, right? So I'm just creating a column chart with the date in it. I'll keep it in the center. And the measure that we are creating is order date sales, right? And this would be calculate the sum of my sales amount. But in the filter, we will select use relationship. And now we have to select two columns. So the two columns would be, one is the order date and the other one is the date table date, which is like this. Similarly, we will create one more measure. And in this, I'm going to call it ship date sales. And in this, we will select our shipping date. Now we'll put both of these in the y-axis. In fact, let me make a line chart, not a column chart. And you notice that there is a small difference, right? So if I go down to the month level, you will notice in the month of September, for example, that the new orders placed are worth 81,000 and the orders shipped are worth 72,000. Now, I will not really get into detail here because it's not a very fancy data set. We only have the sales data. We should have the inventory data with us as well. But I hope you can understand the relevance, which is in terms of inventory management and in terms of new orders being placed in the order book. Now, if you want to find the difference between the two of these, we can just create one more measure. So I'll create another measure, which is nothing but the difference. And this would be my ship date sales minus order date sales. And in this, let's create a border and shadow. And I'll copy and paste this. And in the second one, we will not keep the order date and the ship date sales. We'll keep the difference and we need a line chart. Perfect. And to understand this a little better, I will also put the colors in it. So on columns, we go to conditional formatting and we say that there is a rule. And if we look at the difference, if it is greater than or equal to, if you look at the numbers here, in fact, first let's look at the numbers. The numbers range from 12,000 to negative 7,000. And if you look at it at a year level, we are getting 13,8 like that, right? So I'll keep like a really large number to accommodate all of this. We will say that if the number is greater than or equal to, let us say, minus 1 lakh, and it is less than 0, then we need a gray color. Otherwise, if it is greater than 0 and less than 1 lakh, then we need a different color. So I just choose a yellow color. So we have two colors coming here as well. Let me add the data label like this. So there we go. We have managed to connect the date table with two different columns that are representing date. And using use relationship, we have managed to create a connection between them for the purpose of the calculate function, despite it not being an active relationship.